what we're going to do is we're going to give an opinion. Um, we're going to give an opinion. Oh, I think we're live. So let me just say this is Dr. J and
Okay.
Spike streaming live from Long Island, New York. We've been live for 20 seconds. Hi, everybody. Sorry that I ignored you.
Hello.
Let's see how many people can catch us at this time when I've been advertising all week that we'd be on at 7.
Yeah, I thought we could always recast the show at 7.
Yeah,
Do one of those podcasts where they.
yeah. Well, sometimes, sometimes we have to make changes. So that's life. Once we get to 250,000 viewers, we'll be better.
Okay, yeah. Then
Then we'll be more professional. Right now, if we want to move it up 3 hours, down 3 hours, skip a day, skip a week, we'll do it. Because, I have 1,250 followers. You have 0. So
I have a big whopping 0.
okay. So there we go. So with 250 viewers, I don't want to disappoint people, but if we have to,
We'll get the average between me and you.
uh, yeah.
So you expect half your audience. That's like those people say, all right, if I leave, your audience will go up.
By the way, did you catch the early games? Any of the early games? I was at the beach, so I caught 0.
Yeah, I did. It was actually quite a nice day today over in Long Island. It was
Yeah.
actually quite beautiful at the beach.
Yeah, the beach.
Might be
was
one of our
great,
last days.
but I didn't get to watch any of the football.
Well, neither did I because
Oh.
I was watching the waves instead.
Yeah, I was also. What beach were you at?
I was at the old club.
Atlantic?
Yes, Atlantic Beach.
I was at Jones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So anyway,
Very spoiled here over on Long Island, taking advantage of the last throws.
it was really gorgeous. The
Summer.
beach. It was really, really gorgeous today. And I think, in many ways, these beaches in Nassau are just as nice as the Suffolk beaches, all the Hamptons beaches. I mean, the Hamptons
Nassau,
beaches,
Long Island is almost as
the
good.
only difference is the Hamptons beaches has more two-piece bathing suits.
Oh, I see.
That's about the only difference I can think of.
And
And
Nassau and Suffolk, like I said, I would say our beaches in Nassau County are comparable to Nassau, Bahamas.
yeah, they're very beautiful.
Yeah.
They are. All right. Bahamas is maybe not nearly as as good,
You're
actually.
right, exactly right. And maybe I'm
Bahamas,
dealing with somebody who's fighting with one hand tied behind their back.
I really feel bad for the people in Bahamas.
Yeah, that's the way. That's the way. No, we're not casting shade.
Yeah, so we're going to go through a whole lot.
Everybody in our audience should donate something.
Spike, what do you say we go through a whole lot of stocks and give an opinion, bullish, bearish, or hold?
I mean,
Not
to be
hold.
perfectly honest, I was surprised that we got the overall market right. That it was good. That it went up.
I always get the overall market right.
You're a very impressive man.
That's my best pick, so the direction of the overall market. What's hard for me is not when to enter so much as to when to sell. Sell signals. I sold too early on one recently at Costi Pharmaceuticals. But we're going to get to a lot of them, a lot of little charts. I'll do share screen. We'll go through them quickly. On every one of them, I have 50-day moving average, 100-day moving average, 200-day moving average, the RSI. Some of them I have a fib retrace, but not too many. So let's get to it. I don't believe much in Bollinger Bands myself, so I don't use them. I know some swear by it. MACD is another one I don't use. But, we can always add at any given time with some more indicators. To me, my best tool is a straight line. Draw a trend line. All right, anyway, plus I can draw it the way I want to draw it. 3 points determine a line, not 2. Remember that.
Well, yes, in stocks, 3 points determine a line.
Yeah, 3 points. All right. So I'm going to go to
everybody out there. It's not one. One point does not determine anything.
Yeah. So I have to go and share screen, right?
Okay.
You know what we need? We need a woman I don't to join us. A woman, pretty woman.
For yourself. I'm perfectly happy in my marriage.
No, I want a woman.
Well,
I should smile.
you know what they say: one is too few, but two is too many.
I should smile
Other
when
way
I say.
around. One is too many, two is too few.
No, look. I want. We need a woman to yell at us and keep us honest,
Yeah,
right?
I need that. I need that like I need a trip to Biafra.
Oh, okay. You don't like opera?
Biafra. I think I'd pass on an opportunity to do that.
Oh, yeah.
It's like one of those old jokes with, but it's actually a pretty bad joke, so I'm not gonna say it. But needing a trip to Lebanon, like you need a hole in the head. It's just,
I think you got to talk into that
yeah,
microphone a
yeah,
little bit
yeah. I'm just
better.
mumbling because I usually don't like to talk a lot when I'm saying something that other people might find somewhat
Yeah.
salty. So I'll keep it clean.
All right. So I'm going to go through a lot of pot stocks. Pot is hot, not. It's basically what I'm going to say. Way to script a little bit. But the IWM, we made a very good call, by the way.
Mm.
It's heating up. These small caps look like they're getting hotter than the large caps, and that's probably the place to go with your money in the last quarter
Yeah,
of the year.
they're saying the pundits are saying that all that sideline money has to go somewhere, and so there's still a lot of opportunities if you're looking at mid caps, small caps, and alternative investments because some money's got to go
Right?
somewhere. That's the Dow yet.
Can you see the screen now? The Dow should be
I can
there.
see the Dow chart. Yes.
Okay, good. I'm going to go to my phone and get YouTube up on my phone just to see what's going. Get another view of it. It's weird. You can do all kinds of things live with StreamYard. I like StreamYard. I think it's a pretty doggone good software. Uh, we have we have a bunch of people live watching us. I don't know if there's anybody. Let me scroll down. I want to see if we have any comments. Cabinet guy, Dr. J and Spike, sunny and warm in the green hemp mountain state. So
Wow.
now we know where to get the CBDs. We visit Cabinet Guy. Are you growing some in your window or in your backyard?
Probably very
Uh,
low.
and Kamal Ali. Hey, hi, Dr. J says Kamal. Let me tell you, Kamal made some pick with Amgen at about 160. Of
Uh-huh.
course, he's giving me the credit because I pointed out the strong upward channel, but he's the guy who put his money where my mouth was. So therefore, I give him the credit. I did not put my
Well,
money where my mouth was.
money's better than credit anyway.
Yes. Ali Dalal. How you doing, Ali? Ali? We have Ali and Ali. We have Kamal Ali, Ali Dalal. Is there transitivity there?
Mm.
Do you think there's
Yeah,
transitive law applies? Then we could have Kamal Dalal, right? If Kamal Ali and Ali Dalal implies Kamal Dalal. If A is related to B and B is related to C, A is related to C.
Yeah.
Transitive law.
We call that a portmanteau.
I don't know why I can't hear you good. Can you hear me?
Are you talking to me now?
Yeah, I'm talking
Yeah.
to you.
I hear you
Yeah,
perfectly fine.
okay. Saeed, live from Utah. Beautiful sunny day. CVM. CVM is going to head to 9 one more time. We're going to chart it in a minute.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
CVM, I mean, I enjoyed that ride from 2 to 9 a couple of times. I sold it a few times, a few shares here and there, bought it back. So now I'm at full strength, waiting for it to pierce 9, go right through that 9. This is about the fifth attempt to go through that wall at 9. We're going to look at that chart in a minute.
Yeah.
What about the Dow? Is there anything worth looking at? It's going to make new highs, right?
Well, it's got that breakout that you were talking about. We had that really volatile bottom where things were moving,
Yeah.
and we did think about it breaking to the upside instead of the downside. So maybe we are
Uh,
in
this
a trading range for
this
now.
this is last Friday where it broke above,
Yeah.
clearly above the 50, and kept on going. Now, I don't love these dojis at the top,
Hmm.
but this is this is not, the Japanese with dojis, they like to say sometimes it's a pause that refreshes. So maybe
Hmm.
we're getting a pause here to refresh us and then continue on to new highs. I can't believe it's not going to go to make new highs. So I'm going to disregard these two dojis,
Right.
even though the second one bothers me even more than the first.
Well,
I'm a little bothered.
I
What
get
do
you.
you think, Doc? Spike?
Well, what I'm thinking is that sometimes the fundamentals sort of outweigh, and so this is going to be a very weird week, in particular. But I think, looking at these charts, I'm pretty confident of a nice move that whatever's going on here is going to continue for at least next week. As long as certain people keep their mouths shut, I think we'll be all right.
Oh, I hate figuring out political
Well, that's what I'm
aspect.
saying. So in the absence of that kind of influence, there's a clear sign that we have all of this upside potential.
What
And
about this? What about this rising wedge that we're making? Do you discount that? It's often bearish, that
yeah,
rising spiraling wedge gets me a little nervous too. I mean, I could see a possible pullback back to the 50 again. I hate to say it, but I want to at least make a new high before that happens.
that would be
I
nice.
would like, I would like a new high to made. I'd feel better if a new high were made and then we pull back. I don't want to pull back first. That would be psychologically bad.
Right, saying that new high would be somewhat of a pipe dream.
Yeah, yeah, I don't like that. If it pulls back now, I wouldn't like it. I want to see the new high first. Then, if it wants to pull back, that's okay with me. All right, so let's take a look at, not that anybody's asking me, but let's take a look at, let's just change to the SPX maybe.
Okay.
And cabinet guys,
Let me ask you a question. Since when you do the SPX, we'll see the same sort of behavior. Because there was a sort of a line that looked like a line of resistance that we're almost at the S with the
uh-huh,
so when we see if the S&P shows the same thing, I always like to see it in two different stocks. Remember last week I used to do the VIX just to see if I could see it on the flip side because it's always nice.
right.
It's sort of like taking a triangulation, not looking to
Yes,
looking
we-
to the side.
right. Cabinet guy asked me about ACB. Any thoughts? I think the ACB looks like the weakest chart of all the big pot producers. If we have a chance, we'll look at it. I'm not crazy about ACB right now. I'd rather be buying CGC than ACB. I'm based on fundamentals like CGC and CRON better than ACB. But then again, JD from Dallas, Texas, who I respect a lot, is a big holder of ACB. And you know how these Dallas guys do things in a big way, right?
They certainly do.
So
Everything's big in Texas.
yeah, they do things in a big way. So if I go for that barbecue, I better not eat for a week.
That's right. Right. You want to earn those ribs.
Yeah, because JD told me I can come for a barbecue like never had. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Don't steal
Probably
the barbecue.
they probably barbecue. They must barbecue a whole cow or something.
Well, don't rule out a pig.
A pig and a cow.
Those are fun too.
Well, the pig they can bury in the ground, and the cow they could cook above ground, right? They could roast a pig.
Yes.
All right, full screen.
Let's see what we have here.
Why is it so slow?
We're in the S&P right now, just to get a
I'm
second
trying.
view.
I'm trying to get the S&P on the screen.
Yeah, this way we at least get a.
Ozymandias, SLS. We will take a look at SLS, and we will look at Spike's AWK. Is it?
WK. It's just It's a story I want to tell, and I want to see
All
if
right.
anybody agrees with it.
We're going to go through everything very quickly. The problem is it's not loading very quickly. That's my problem. It's
Right.
just taking forever to load. Uh, Come on. Maybe if we share your screen, Spike,
Yeah,
it would load.
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna see if I can't. I'm
Shall
gonna
I come out? Shall I
download it.
stop sharing?
Well, give me a sec. Let me see if I could find. We're gonna do the SPX, right?
Yeah, I mean, even if we can quickly add. If your screen is quicker than mine, we can add the averages, moving averages in very easily, and the RSI we could add in. And
Okay. Well, let's see what we got here. See, I'm on my
I'm not.
I'm on the Merrill site, and they don't actually call the S&P SPX. They call it the S&P 500. And let's see if
Well, that's fine.
we can't find.
Is your screen moving?
My screen is moving. Let's see.
Probably as soon as I hit stop sharing and you hit share screen, then it'll slow down the same way probably.
One never knows, do one? Okay, let's see.
Well, that's what I'm afraid of because I think it's may not be Verizon, may not be my computer, it may just be StreamYard.
Right. Well, let's give it a try. Like I said, I'm over here at the.
This is ridiculous. I hit full screen a while ago. I'm getting nowhere.
So I will.
I'm going to stop sharing screen. You know what I could do? I can just go through on my phone, look at the charts myself, and
Well, let's see if.
get,
Let me share my
get
screen
my impressions.
and see what happens when I share my screen. Um,
Well,
okay,
you try sharing your screen. Good idea.
I'll do that.
I stopped sharing mine, so we.
Well, let's see what happens here. Did I just
I
still
see,
get?
I see your. I do see your screen.
Okay, so here we have the right here. It's not as clean and pretty as yours, but can everybody see that? You can send a
I'm trying to get it up there. Add to stream. You see, it says spike screen. I'm trying to click on the right.
right. So this is the S&P 500.
It's not working. I don't know how to add your screen. You did share screen?
Yes, I am.
I
Share
see it says spike screen, but I'm adding to the stream and it's not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my picture off. I'm going to kill my mic and see
Okay.
if that helps. Now share screen.
That's all you.
No, this is your screen. We're good now.
Okay, no, wonderful. Look at that.
Yeah. Now you can go to
Right here.
Merrill. What do you use? Merrill?
I'm using Merrill right now.
And
Um,
what is this? Is the chart of?
yeah, this is the S&P 500.
Okay.
So you can see that if you look over here, this is 1 year. Sorry. I'm actually going to move it back to 6 months. Yeah, just to get a little bit more detail here. You notice that little push up that we saw in the Dow doesn't isn't really so pronounced here. As a matter
Yeah.
of fact, it's looking more. I'm going to even go a little bit more granularity. I'm going to do a month, and you can see it almost looks like we're working on a trading range. If you're looking at the broader market,
Yeah. Could you change to candlestick view?
can I? Let's see. Um, you're asking. You're asking for chart style.
Yep.
Candlestick. There we go. All right, I'll move back to 3 months.
Okay. So we have a clear bullish trend that I see so far.
I'm going to year date actually. Let's see. Here we go. It's a little bit better.
Yeah. So we have a low, a high, a low, but we haven't made a higher high to verify.
Right now, but actually, we are seeing what I was saying before. If we see that line at 3,000 as a bit of resistance, right, as opposed to as opposed to working off of a line that's growing.
Is this a daily or is it a?
This looks weekly, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Can you
Yeah,
change that to a daily view?
I will try. That doesn't do it. Um, nope. Cancel that, please.
But it likes you. Your screen share is far better than my screen share. I'll
Well,
tell you that.
in that things are moving.
Yeah.
Chart settings here. I don't know if I have much control. Okay, frequency. We'll go daily. There we go. And for some reason, I have
Do 1 year.
All right, that's year to date.
Okay, that's good enough.
From the lows.
That's good enough. So we have a high here, a low here, a higher here,
Right.
a higher low here. So far, we're still very much in the bull market, short-term bull market.
Yeah, indeed. Just a question: if we're going to talk about what's going on for the next, say, week or two, I'm a little bit worried about this line here being a point of resistance, and so
We're now.
I would say that we're in a bit of a trading range, at least for a week or two.
Are we in the daily now, or no?
Yeah, I saw we.
Yeah, I think we're in the weekly still.
Well, what happened the last time I went daily like that, and then it only put me down in here, which is weird.
Slide it over.
Oh, you see that?
It should be able to slide over.
What would I do without you?
I don't know.
Well, when I said it's,
I don't know. I don't know that you're doing great with me, so it doesn't much matter.
Yeah, right. All right, I'm going to move this to 3 months again.
Vibrant Vixen, the docks, nice. Hey, Brooklyn, you want to come on with us? We need a woman. I'll send you a link.
Oh, this isn't very much fun. I'm telling you.
Brooklyn is not just any woman. Brooklyn knows her stuff.
I want to actually do this, the line again, and make my frequency daily, which it is.
I'm going to have to fire you, Spike. You're taking too long on this.
Well, like I said, right now we have a 3-month daily, and like I said, right here was that high that we were talking about, and we're sort of just off of it, and that's not the global high. Obviously, the global high was back here, and the question is whether or not this is a point of resistance, this 3,000, or whether or not we might actually play with this guy up here in the next say week or two. I just wanted to indicate. I know this is the Dr. J show. Sorry, but I'm just trying to throw in my 2 cents.
Oh no, we just need candles because we always look at candlesticks.
Gotcha.
So if you can just translate this to candles.
Right, and then this sort of funny thing happens.
You just slide it over. Should work.
With what?
With your cursor, just grab it and move. Not working?
No, I'm sorry.
Are you in a year to date? Hit year to date. You're in 2 months. Hit year to date.
There we go. Well, that didn't do it. I guess I'm going to lose my job, aren't I?
No, you know what? Stop screen sharing. Let me try one more time on my screen.
Okay.
You need practice. You need to fool around with the candlestick view.
Indeed.
I'll give you homework. I'm going to give you homework.
That's my homework assignment.
Homework assignment.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. So I stopped sharing my screen.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to start my cam again. There we go. Hi there. I'm back.
Hey.
All right. Vixen says Brooklyn in the house. Nah, you don't need a gold bug. Week looks good. I could kill I tell you, I'm not overly fond of gold bugs, but I love Brooklyn. Brooklyn's my favorite. So
what's not to like about Brooklyn?
Brooklyn is great. Brooklyn was born and bred in Brooklyn, even though she's moved out to highfalutin neighborhood in Maryland. Who cares? She's still born and bred in Bensonhurst.
You could take
Bensonhurst.
Brooklyn. That's me too.
Bensonhurst. Are you Bensonhurst?
I'm Bensonhurst. Born and raised.
and you're a landsman.
Landsman. I'm a landsman from Brooklyn.
You're a landsman from Benson.
Actually, I'm a mutt from Bensonhurst.
All right, okay. I wonder where Greg is. We're missing Greg. It's 4 o'clock time. He's out in the park or something, taking a run.
It's a gorgeous day across the country. I can't imagine anybody being.
Greg is taking a run.
To us, but
JD is watching his Dallas Cowboys win.
when? Oh yeah,
Spike is Bensonhurst through and through. That's right.
that's true.
Spike, say hello to
You can take
Brooklyn.
the boy out of Brooklyn, but you can't take the Brooklyn out of the boy. You know that.
That's right, absolutely. And cabinet guy said he's got hemp growing all over the place. All we got to do is pay him a visit, and bring a truck up with us. We can make tons of money. All right. Who needs stocks when we have cabinet guy, right?
Exactly.
Who needs
Now,
stocks?
is it cabinet or cabinet?
I don't know. It's cabinet, maybe. Cabinet.
Cabernet, so that's even bring the wine in.
It could be Cabernet Guy instead of Guy, right? Like Guy de Maupassant, G-U-Y.
Oh, Guy de Maupassant, right?
Yeah, so it could be Cabernet Guy. Maybe from Montreal, like last week we had someone from Montreal. All right, so you took a hit in gold this week, Brooklyn, or did you do okay? You got killed. Oh yeah, you said you got killed. All right. I'm not going to ask for specifics. Getting killed is getting killed. It doesn't matter how. All right, I'm going to share screen once more.
Okay, sounds good.
We're really good at wasting time today, you know.
Well, that's only because we can't. What's it? Precarivate? Maybe I'm using the wrong word.
You know what it is, Spike? You got the Mets on your mind too much.
I do. I'm hoping against hope that we actually pull one from the Dodgers, pull the second one from the Dodgers.
Well, if without that, you can write the Mets off. They got to win almost
every single game. What did they say? Every day is a playoff.
That's right.
Yeah.
And of all people to come through, Raj Davis.
That was definitely
38 years old.
Well, they said they needed somebody who was experienced, who wasn't going to get too flustered, and he kept his cool and found this ball to hit. Very impressive.
Yep.
Very impressive.
Very impressive. He's hit the ball hard the last few times up, but finally found a hole. My computer just isn't cutting it.
Yeah, and the only problem I'm having with mine is that I guess I'll have to try something other than Merrill next time.
Why don't you just do finance.yahoo.com? It's easy job.
Finance.
Very.
This might actually be a good time to talk to people about what kinds of tools they use to do that technical analysis. Finance@yahoo.com is free. You don't have to be. I mean,
yeah.
I'm getting a little bit angry at Merrill because they're giving me crappy charts, and I actually give them a lot of my money. So.
I know people.
Anybody, I'd rather.
You want me to file a complaint?
But
I can file a complaint for Spike at Merrill. Dr. J has friends at Merrill.
Does he now?
Friends in high up places. So I can lodge a complaint. Spike doesn't like the charts, and they're going to tell me Spike doesn't know how to use them.
Of course they're going to say that. So which one should I put up? Should I put up CGC? So we can get.
Well, can you see my screen now?
Let me see.
I'm looking good on my.
I can see your screen now. I guess everybody else.
All right. So as long as you can see it on my screen, we'll go with my screen.
Okay, sounds good.
And we're still looking at the S&P, and just like the Dow, we turned in 2 dojis in a row, and it looks very similar.
Yeah, but it's not pronounced. If you notice what's going on over there,
looks very much like. Is this the same picture? It's all almost identical.
except those little dots aren't as green as the other ones were.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing is on the Dow, this doji is looks a
Right.
little more ominous because it looks more like a gravestone doji.
Well, if you look at the very last dot, in this case here, the very last dot is red, and in this
Yeah,
case, the very last dot is green.
yeah.
So that may be may portend something in terms of the
Maybe.
market.
You know what? I want to throw a lot of charts in.
Yeah.
What's your final analysis? Bullish, bearish, or neutral?
For the week, I'm thinking we're still dealing with a trading range. I'm still afraid. So that's
I'm going to give an official neutral on the Dow and the S&P.
okay. I guess we're both in agreement there then.
It's a cop out, I know, but
Exactly. It's a definite maybe.
definite maybe. Yeah, I'd love to see them. I want them to both show me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make new highs, and then I'll be a true convert.
Stop dancing around.
Then I'll be a true bull. And what will I do? I'll add more to my IWMs.
Oh, yeah, right. You'll see the whole.
I have IWMs. I have spiders. I have Brooklyn recommended EFI. I have some of that. I have what other indices do I have? I don't have the IBB. I have a load of individual biotechs. I don't have any Qs, and I don't have any diamonds. So I only have spiders and IWM. All right. I think I was thinking of adding some instead of SPY, SPD, the dividend play, the high yielding spiders.
Definitely worth looking at in my opinion, because people are still looking for value.
I want to chart CVM. I'm in love with CVM in the short term.
CVM or CBM?
CV.
CVM. Okay.
That's a little biotech, sell side. CVM. And then we'll look at yours, AWK. CVM. Here we go. Any of the games been resolved? I mean, some of them we had like minutes.
We're already into the second set of games.
They're all over the early games?
I believe so, yes. It's 4:35.
Okay. Okay. When are you leaving for the Met game?
In about 2 hours. No, maybe less.
Well, it's a 7:10 start. So
7:10 start. So yeah, I want to get there. I want to get there early and drink in all that excitement.
okay.
So that's the plan.
Yeah. All right. There could be a lot of traffic. You know, they're going to mob the place tonight.
Well, at least the U.S. Open's not going on simultaneously like last week.
Yeah.
So we'll have that going for us.
Yeah. Last week I was driving back from Manhattan and got caught in that City Field traffic as it let out on the LIE. That wasn't too pleasant.
No.
All right. Okay, so this is CVM, and notice how many assaults it's had on this $9 mark. 1, 2, even 3, 4, 5. Basically, it's been knocking at the door. This is a wall right here. This is not just a double top or a triple top. It's a wall. 9 is a freaking wall. And it's going to go through that wall. Once it does, it's $10 should be easy, maybe $11. And the longer it takes for a data readout to occur, the more it will inch up, in my opinion. It almost has to, because logic tells you that the longer it takes for the trials, then the more evidence there is that it is successful, that 298 events have not occurred, and so on. So it's one of those things. No news is good news. The IDMC committee is going to meet any day now, maybe. And if they recommend the trial continue, I can't see it go anything but up. And if they recommend the trial stop, then then we'll know what the story is shortly thereafter. So I think we're already almost assured of meeting primary endpoint number one, which is extending life. The other primary endpoints, quality of life and tumor shrinkage, etc., those are I'm less sure of. But I think the longer it takes, the more life is extended, the better the result. And this company, which has got a market cap, I don't know what, 300 million maybe, I'm not even sure, could go 10 times that easily, maybe more. So I mean, you could be looking at anywhere from $4 to $8 billion market cap down the road if the results are really stellar. I mean, that's probably a fair takeout price, 4 billion. Very fair. I think whoever buys it for 4 billion based on really positive results, they're getting a bargain. This is a immunotherapy drug that actually works without killing too many people. Because a lot of these immunotherapy drugs kill people, just like chemo. You know, it sounds sexy, but bottom line is it's not much better than chemo in terms of the disastrous effects it has on the body. You get these cytokine storms. I don't know, maybe there's a more technical word for it, but the immune system turns against your organs and organs that are not cancerous, and it goes berserk, and that's not good. So that's the story with Multikine, and they're waiting on the data readout for head and neck cancer. And Multikine seemed to have very favorable profile in a small study in phase 2. Now, with over 900 patients being studied in phase 3, I'm very optimistic that we're going to get a very decent result. That's all. That's all I have to say about it. I mean, the chart is beautiful. It's following its upper trend line.
I just love the way it's hugging that line.
Yeah, it's doing a beautiful job of hugging that line. It's now clearly above the 50, right? The 50 is clearly above. Notice the 50, I'm not sure what's what anymore. 50 is clearly above the 100, and the 100 is clearly way above the 200. So everything is as it should be. And this time, if it bangs on the door of 9, which I think it will this week, I can't see it not going through, in my opinion. I know you can argue the other way around. 5 times it knocked on the door and 5 times it failed. So according to the past performances, it should fail again. But Dr. J says not this time.
No, not if they're this much further along in their study.
Yeah. Time is on.
A lot of that early stuff is speculative. Oh, we have something, it's a good idea, it seems to be working well. But then there are all these issues about finding the appropriate level of dosing and,
Well, that's all done in phase 2. You don't have to worry about that.
I'm saying once you're out of that, then it stops being speculative and it starts actually being an investment and not a speculation.
Well, yeah. I mean, even the CEO bought a lot of it recently. I don't put that much stock in that, but it's not a bad sign. Insider buying is better than insider selling. So I'd rather see the CEO buying than selling. And he owns over 1 million shares. Not that that's a tremendous amount, but if it goes from 8 to 200, I think he's in for a nice sum of money, the CEO, with 1 million shares. I can't even compute it. I need a calculator. It's a lot of zeros in there, right?
Right.
A million.
A lot. The term for it is a lot.
A glot.
A lot.
All right. So he owns or another way of saying it is he owns a shitload of this stuff.
Right.
Or as the commercial for DraftKings, a shipload. It should look. All right, so CVM, I'm in love with CVM, so I don't even need to show the chart, right? I mean, I have a lot of it and I'm a strong believer in it. So the chart, it doesn't mean that much to me, but it is a nice looking chart at the same time. I'm going to chart you the one you mentioned,
Okay.
AWK.
Yeah, let me just at least talk a little bit about it. I mean, the basic idea, and I'm not stealing this from the movie The Big Short, but the character that 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 Christian Bale's played was the one who was the guy who was the doctor who was looking at every single investment in the tranche, and found that there were some irregularities there, and realized that a lot of that stuff that was being sold back in the mid 2000s was junk. Anyway, they said, what is this guy doing now? Where are they now? And they said right now he's dealing in clean water stocks. But I mean, it gets you to thinking about clean water, doesn't it? Especially after Newark, and not even to
Hey, Spike, at 4:34, which is a minute, cut him at 11 minutes ago,
yeah,
Pro says your audio isn't working.
it's
So
not. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but let me try it through YouTube and see if I hear you. I'm
Okay.
putting my microphone on my desktop. All right, talk.
All right. So there you go. You can hear me. I'm talking. All right. So anyway, like I said, it seems to me that water.
So anyway, like I said,
There we go.
water. We're okay.
All right. Good. Good. Good.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
you just got to be careful to talk into your.
Yeah. I'll keep my mic a little bit closer to my mouth,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
anyway, so what everybody needs clean water. One of the in the classes I teach, one of the things I talk about, just to talk about the willingness people have to buy clean water, is that you could actually buy gasoline for cheaper than you could buy Poland Springs water, even in the Price Club. So it just goes to show you. I mean, obviously it makes sense. Nobody's gonna go pour selling water to people who are thirsty. And so you can see American Waterworks has been taking a pretty nice run. It's actually this is the year to date, but even if you go back a bit further, it's been taking a nice run. Right now, we're in a little bit of, I guess I'm going to call it a buying opportunity, at least a little bit of a dip, but it's nothing that's worrying me personally. So I was hoping that Dr. J would put some of his technical magic on this, just to make sure that I'm not talking out of my hat.
Well, it looks the RSI is good. You have a low RSI. You're nowhere near overbought territory. You're not near underbought territory, and you have your 50-day as support. So and it looks like it very well may have bottomed right here on the 10th. So yeah, I mean, it took a little bounce up. It's going to retest this 50-day and try to go higher. I mean, it's been in a very long bull market. Um, has it really entered a bear market phase? I mean, maybe, but even if it did, even if it does an A, B, C correction, probably would stop right here. Let's say it does an A, B, C type correction. A, B, C. Even if C is equal in length to A, I don't know where it would be. It would be maybe about 110, something like that at the worst. So I think even if we go into a little bear market here, you're looking at about 110 as a likely stopping point, or maybe the bottom here. So the bottom here would be 113. So between 113 between 113 and 110 is a good place to stop if it does go below the 50. So I don't think you have to be too afraid to enter this. It's showed a lot of strength over a long period of time. The fundamentals are strong. It looks like an okay buy right where it is. So if you want to try to get it on a little dip,
Yeah.
you have a position already, or you
Oh, I
looking to?
certainly do. But I mean, the thing is that a lot of the like again, I'm not to trash my my stock companies, but if you look at Merrill and B of A and a couple of others, they're actually a little bit more bearish on this than I would have thought. And so they're actually calling this an underperform, and they're calling this a sell. And um, and and I'm trying to see if they're seeing something that I'm not. Certainly, like I said, from the fundamentals, there's no reason I'm going to get out of this because, like I said, everybody needs water, and what's happening at Newark is scaring the hell out of me because that could happen
Well,
anytime.
again, just from a technical point of view, but as I said before, it may be entering an ABC type correction where this is A,
Hmm.
this is B, and if C is this equal in length, it still isn't a disaster, and then continue on up. In the worst case, this should hold. This
Right.
low right there.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, I would think.
In the worst case, so you don't have the downside is not like enormous from here. I mean, the downside is always zero, but to me, the downside is 101 at the worst, at the very worst, and more likely something like 113. Or I don't know what the difference is from this high to the low. The high of the day was like 130, 120, 130, let's say, down to low of the day was 121, 9 points, 9 points from the high of the day here, 9 points from the high of the day here, 123, take away 9, 114, 113. There you go with the 113, comes up again. So I like this as being a very likely low, even if it is in a bear market.
Uh-huh.
So 113 from, you know, I could stand 10 more percent if risk. I don't know. Of course, I don't own the stock, but
Right.
I think that's the downside potential is another 10%.
Yeah, but these are the kinds of things because of the fundamentals. This idea, this question of when to sell. Like you're right, it might be right around the end of that trading range where that horizontal line is might be a good enough sell sign to say, all right, you're done. But for somebody me who's been riding this stock for a long time, I almost think that almost any time I bail out would be a bad time.
So
On
then
the
just
on,
buy,
on the other hand, you can't hold on to these things forever.
buy some puts. That's another way of playing it.
Right. Indeed. Just so that
Or
I don't have to lose my standing in the stock, but I could still
right,
make money
just
off
buy
of the little
some
movement.
puts. Probably cheap enough. I don't imagine puts are very expensive on this stock. It doesn't have a tremendous beta, I don't think. So give you protection below 115, let's say.
Hmm.
Buy the 115s. Get them really cheap. So if it goes to 110, you may take your 5 point profit. Still in the stock, and you've only lost up to 115, and you've made some money to offset that. You've lost nothing if it goes
Indeed.
to 110.
Right. Oh yeah. Like I said, I've been on the stock for a couple of years now. So
I see 113 as being a bottom on this one. Any comment? Anybody want to add to this conversation? Berkshire has AWK listed as a strong buy. I'd buy at 118 if it gets that low.
great.
Okay, there's another, and Brooklyn knows her stuff, let me tell you. That was Brooklyn talking to
That was Brooklyn
you.
talking. Yeah. Well.
That's not just anybody talking, that's Brooklyn talking.
Well.
So Brooklyn says 118 is a buy,
Wonderful.
not a sell. 118 is a buy. So I would think a combination of Brooklyn's optimism and my pessimism, and you might want to buy puts at 115 strike price.
Right. They'll be very cheap then.
Be very inexpensive
Yeah.
insurance.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's how I get it.
Well, I mean, look, I don't want to talk about something that I'm not sure of. Like I said, as far as I'm concerned, clean water is definitely something to consider as a general funny
I'm not even sure
traffic.
how clean the water is at Poland Spring.
That's the whole point, right? And people are willing to pay such premium for Poland Springs, and we know that between the plastic and eventually Poland Spring as a company is going to have to become responsible for the external costs of all that plastic being thrown into the landfills.
Do you see what I have on the screen now? Curaleaf. Curaleaf is a very nice play in the marijuana area. They're a
Hmm.
dispensary. They're in about 11 or 12 or more states in the U.S. And they are very strong. They've made a few buys. They bought out a few other dispensaries, and they're growing organically as well. I like this one a lot. It seems to have ended its losing streak right here with a huge buying day. Maybe not that huge, but it's a clear accumulation day on 8/28. So there was big accumulation here on this dip to a new low. And it's done nothing but rally pretty much since then. Turned in a big negative candle on Thursday. It recouped a little on Friday. I see it trading between the 50 and the 100. Right now, it's still bullish. It's above the 50, and the 100 is above the 50. The 200 isn't on the screen because it hasn't gone public that long, so we don't have 200 trading days. Or maybe we do. This might be the 200. Notice its 200th trading day must have been right here, Dr. Spike.
Mm.
You see. So we have the 200 right down here. So if that's the case, the 200 is above the 50, which is not a good sign, but I don't care. I mean, it is the official death cross, right? But I'm not worried. It's done nothing but go up anyway. It's funny that death cross either works really great or it doesn't work at all. Yeah, I know that doesn't make sense, but I find
It
that
works when it does. That's what you say.
when it does work, it works really, really well. Put it to you that way. And when it doesn't work at all. I think it makes sense what I'm saying. Can you make sense of that?
Well, again, these are the times to bring in at least one or two fundamentals, only because the technical analysis could just show you that so much.
Yeah, in other words, it's a great indicator to at least take heed of because your stock is vulnerable. It's showing vulnerability
Mm.
that potentially it could go down and go down a lot. Because when this thing works, it doesn't just work a little bit, it works it works a lot. We usually get a big move down. So how much, just for the hell of it, how much of a move down did we get? Let's say it's hard to say exactly when it crossed, right about here. So maybe it was trading at above 7. The low was 6, not that much. Or it was not. It was accurate, but now I think it's over and done with, and I think we're on the rise. We came from this low here. We have a high, a low, a higher high, and a higher low already. So we're in a short-term bull market. I think we have to break through to trade above the. I'm getting confused. What's the 50? What's the 100? So this is the 50, the purple. It's
Hmm.
got to trade above the 100, and I want to see the slope of this thing more pronounced. I want to see this 50-day slope start turning around a little bit more than it has. It's already turned. You see right here? It's already turning a little bit. If you notice, where it's kind of like a zero slope right here, right? Would you say?
Hmm.
Are you there?
I'm here.
Knock, knock. And so I think we're at a zero slope here. We're starting to
Right.
curve up. I want to see it a little more pronounced, and then I think I'd be very happy to add to my position.
Yeah, again, I don't.
I'm,
You want to see that? You want to see that breakout? Like you said, it's another one of those stocks that's telling us something we just don't know what it is. And
right.
the next couple of days will actually, provide a lot of information.
Right. I mean, it knocked on the door to 50 here. It knocked on the door to 50 here. I want to see it go through to 50, break through to 50. That's would be pretty decisive. I want to see the 50-day moving average start curling up. I want to see it cross back with over the 200. I mean, this thing potentially could fly. I think it's a very strong company. That's my opinion of this company, both technically and fundamentally. So I like curlf a lot in the pot space. ACB I like the least. CGC I kind of like, both technically and fundamentally. We had a gravestone doji here, but on Friday we closed nicely. We had a nice rebound off the $22 lows with a new high, with a high here, a low here. I mean, we have to take this high out to continue the uptrend, but this is a company that looks like it's, I guess it looks like it's trying to put in a base right about here. So I would say that you could draw a horizontal line in here,
Yeah.
and hope and pay attention to, does it go below that horizontal? If it goes below that horizontal, maybe it's not so good, but I think it's going to go up to the 50. That'll be the next stop on this one. So I'm bullish CGC, both fundamentally and somewhat less enthusiastic technically, but I still like it. I generally like these rounded cup and handle type patterns, these rounded bottoms. So I like them. When did we look at this? Last week? 1, 2, 3. We looked at it right here, right on this candle right here, and we said it had to take this out. Didn't do that this week,
Right.
but the week coming up, I'd love to see it take this out. Then we're going to go up to here. I like this one. I like the technicals. I like the fundamentals. I just like it all around. One that I don't like is ACB. It's in the same space, but I think it's weaker technically. Can't look at everything though. So let's not bother with looking at that one. We've been on a long time. Maybe we call it
Right.
another.
I feel like a broken record again because this is
Yeah,
another
I think we got to call it.
feeling the horizontal line.
What is Brooklyn saying? It's hard with IPO. We just don't have enough history.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching pins also far. I think she's replying to my curly.
Oh.
It's not an IPO. It was on the Toronto Stock Exchange, Canadian stock. So it traded there. I guess in a sense it's an IPO. It came onto the NASDAQ. So you call that an IPO? I don't know.
Well, there's still a lot of history there.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, we're gonna stop sharing and we're gonna say good night to everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks for thanks for joining us at this strange hour of 4 p.m. when I was telling everybody 7 p.m.
Hey, well, that's the Mets. Let's make it worth it.
But you know what? Everyone who tunes in at 7 p.m., they'll still be able to watch it.
Oh, yeah, I'll see it.
They'll
Certainly.
see it. And
They'll watch us fiddling with the charts.
yeah, so Spike, for next week, I want a woman to join us. You know why? Because women are the biggest.
Wait a week?
No, women are the biggest football fans. They know more about football than you and me put together.
Indeed.
So we need a woman football enthusiast. Once, I don't care if they're a Dallas Cowboy fan, a Patriot fan, a Jet fan, whatever they are, they can talk football with us a little bit. Don't you have a football calculator that you're working on to beat Vegas?
Well, no, actually, but what we're trying to do is just try to run it as if it was Las Vegas. sort of, there's a thing going out where people could actually invest in Hollywood. It's like saying you could own movies without actually owning the movies. And so it's sort of a fun little conceit that you have over there, just to say, well, if you really know what's going on in sports, let's see if you really can put your money where your mouth is. And I mean, the whole idea now is just when is it gambling and when is it skill? This is the big question that people ask.
Well, that's how DraftKings put forth its argument that it can
Right.
get away with fantasy football, right? That it's skill.
They're saying it's a skill, and they've actually hired some people from MIT
Right.
to prove their case. It's actually a fun little story. And so, yeah, well,
You were telling me that you look at the Vegas lines for the season, right? For who's going to win the
yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of ways of playing it. Obviously, I mean, I'm also in a pool where we try to get the most wins based off of the spread. Based off of the spread. But I only have just much luck there. A lot of my, I teach statistics, and a lot of my students like, oh, you must really be good in gambling. I'm like, no, I gamble.
By the way, I think we should let everyone know that you're not a doctor of business or finance, but your doctorate is in operations research, where you look to maximize and minimize things.
Yes, indeed. We look for the most efficiency.
Right. So you look to maximize your returns on portfolios, retirement portfolios, and
Yes.
minimize potential losses, right?
Right. Well, we want, as always, we want to maximize return and minimize risk.
Right. Minimize risk.
You can't do both simultaneously.
Yeah, we have to have one session dedicated to portfolio analysis. Maybe we'll get somebody who wants to have their retirement portfolio analyzed.
Well, that might be fun, actually.
Yeah, and you could take a look at it and give your feedback.
Yeah, certainly.
Patriots are on fire.
Say that again?
Patriots are on fire. 76-3. They beat whoever. I don't know who they beat.
Yeah, no, the spread was 18, and and I was one of those suckers who actually said, "Oh, an 18-point spread. They're just gonna sit and rest."
But who are they playing?
They're playing the Miami Dolphins, who the odds of whom to win the Super Bowl are 1,000 to 1 or 10.
Oh, so they were playing a futile team.
Yeah, that's why I would have thought that maybe they would just lay down, win by a good 10 points, and then that's the end of it.
Yeah.
But no, they decided to massacre these guys because
they're having fun.
The Patriots.
They're just having fun.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of meanie pants.
Is Antonio Brown playing? Is all for good?
That was my understanding. He's free to play. They're not going to have that little discussion until at least tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So let's say goodbye to everyone. You want to start? You want to say anything?
I'm good with saying goodnight because I want to get going for the Met game.
Good night. Have fun at the Met game. I'm going to say shalom, sayonara, au revoir, arrivederci, ciao.
Bye-bye.
And follow us if you want. We appreciate the follow, right?
Yeah.
If you haven't followed us, follow us and spread the word, spread the link. Hasta la próxima semana.
All right, bye-bye.